Maria is one of the main characters in Silent Hill 2. While she isn't given as much importance as James, I'd argue that she's just as, if not more important. In this video, I want to talk about Maria in depth and peel back the layers of her character and really find out who or what Maria is. Before diving into her, I think it's worth mentioning why Maria often gets overlooked. Silent Hill 2 is remembered for James Sunderland, his guilt, and of course, Pyramid Head. Maria tends to sit in the background of those conversations, but in many ways, she's the glue that ties everything together. She isn't just a side character, she is central to the emotional and thematic way of the entire game. To understand Maria, we first need to look at where she came from. Unlike James, Maria isn't called to Silent Hill. She is created by the town's mysterious power. She, like Pyramid Head, only exists to serve James's character arc. But unlike Pyramid Head, she has free will, and that free will is important. Pyramid Head is basically a blunt instrument. He punishes James, hunting him down until James escapes what he did. Maria, however, is more subtle. She tempts James, comforts him, and confuses him. She plays the role of both salvation and damnation. But what does someone with no true purpose or calling actually do in Silent Hill? She follows instinct. She does what feels right in the moment. For example, in a lot of scenes, Maria seems to care deeply about Laura, but if you look closely, they never once interact, on or off screen. There's no bond between them. So why does Maria act like Laura matters to her? Instinct. It's almost like she's programmed to care about Laura because Mary once did. And this leads to the bigger question. Why was Maria made at all? Maria was born of James's memories of his wife. While yes, she's heavily altered, at her core she is a clone of Mary. She exudes a motherly role towards Laura, probably because Mary was close to Laura in the hospital. It's fascinating that even without ever meeting Laura, Maria still acts protective of her. It shows that she isn't purely fabricated from nothing. She's stitched together from fragments of Mary's personality and James's desires. But Laura isn't the only person her instincts tie her to. Her entire existence revolves around James. Maria needs James. Without James, she cannot exist. In the ending scene, where James sees through her Mary costume, she loses it, because like Pyramid Head, when James moves on, or learns his lesson, she has to self-destruct. And the game makes this very clear. Maria dies multiple times across the story, and each time she comes back slightly changed. In my opinion, her fate is worse than death. She's killed and reborn over and over and over in an endless cycle just to fulfill some guy's character growth. It's sick. Think about the psychology here. James represses his guilt by projecting Mary into someone else, but every time Maria dies, the illusion cracks just a little more, and James is forced to face the truth he's been running from. Maria isn't just another death for him, she's a reminder, and for Maria, it's just constant resurrection into a reality that only exists to use her. And what makes this cycle even more disturbing is how Maria herself changes every time she comes back. There's a clear difference between Maria at the start of the game and Maria after her first death. At the start, she's seductive, flirty, and basically willing to do anything to get James to stay with her. In multiple cutscenes, we see her trying. Here, playing the damsel in distress.
Alone? With all these monsters around?
Here, in the bar scene.
What? Oh, come on, don't give me that look.
And here, right before her death.
You couldn't care less about me, could you?
No, I just...
Then stay with me. Don't leave me alone again. You're supposed to take care of me.
She presents herself as the perfect partner, everything James wanted Mary to be. Fun, playful, available. But suddenly after the first death, she becomes eerie. She recalls things only Mary would know, like the videotape left in the hotel. She stops having a real personality. She's more reserved and even says,
Doesn't matter who I am.
This is chilling. Maria goes from being a character with quirks and emotions to an empty vessel, existing only to reflect James's desires. And this mirrors real life in a way. Sometimes people try to mold themselves into whatever their partner wants, even if it erases who they are. Maria embodies that tragedy on a supernatural scale. The more she transforms, the less human she feels. She becomes a construct, a suffering one, aware that she's losing her own identity. In all of this, her deaths and her transformations lead us into the tragedy of Maria's endings. There are two endings I want to talk about. The Leave with Maria ending, and the so-called good ending. One of the reasons Maria's character is so tragic is because she gets no happy endings. Maria simply dies in all of them. Some like to argue that the Leave with Maria ending is her getting what she wants, James. But let me play this small scene.
Better do something about that cough.
This shows that Maria is sick, probably with the same illness Mary had, meaning Maria is gonna live in a toxic relationship and end up dying anyways. James doesn't find happiness and Maria doesn't find meaning. It's just another cycle of decay. And in the Leave ending, she's killed, desperately calling for a love that will never meet the light of day. Even in the endings where she isn't central, Maria's shadow lingers. In the In Water ending, James joins Mary in death, but Maria's absence reminds us that she was never real to begin with. In the Rebirth ending, James tries to resurrect Mary, effectively discarding Maria entirely. No matter the path, Maria is erased, discarded, or left to suffer. So no matter how you look at it, Maria's fate is sealed. But the developers of the original Silent Hill 2 game gave us more to work with. I want to talk about Born from a Wish, that hasn't, at the time of this video's release, been remade. This DLC talks about Maria, way before meeting James, her origins, what she is, and why she's here. Born from a Wish is the side story that came bundled with the original Silent Hill 2, and it's maybe the most important piece of content if we really want to understand Maria. Unlike the main game, here, she exists before James ever steps into Silent Hill. He wakes up in Heaven's Night, alone, confused, with nothing but her thoughts. The most chilling part, her very first instinct is to kill herself. Maria finds a gun and debates whether she should just kill herself right there. Think about that. A character literally just created by the town, who technically shouldn't even exist, already feels such emptiness and a lack of purpose that she's drawn to death. But instead of pulling the trigger, she hesitates. And that hesitation is everything. Instead of dying, Maria leaves Heaven's Night and makes her way to the Baldwin mansion. Here, she meets Ernest Baldwin, a man who, in true Silent Hill fashion, isn't really alive. He's more like a ghost trapped in the house, or at least that's what I see it. He's obsessed with grief and is unable to move on. Ernest asks Maria to help him, and for the first time in her short existence, she chooses to do something for someone else. It's small, but it shows her capacity for care, the same instincts we see later towards James and Laura. Something I want to talk about here is that I believe Maria isn't actually doing it for Ernest. She's doing it for herself because she needs human connection. She wants someone to need her, and Ernest needing Maria to help him out makes her feel wanted, just like we see in the main game. And this matters because Born from a Wish proves that Maria wasn't just a copy of Mary or a tool for James's guilt. She has thoughts, doubts, and desires of her own before James ever saw her. The DLC paints her less as a hollow construct and more as a tragic soul, desperately searching for a meaning in a world that never gave her one. By the end of the DLC, Ernest rejects her, reminding her that she is not real, that she's left alone, and it's heartbreaking. Because all Maria wanted was connection, a reason to exist. That's what leads directly into the main game, where she attaches herself to James. Silent Hill basically dangles her in front of him as both a temptation and a punishment, but to Maria, she's just surviving. She clings to him because she has nothing else. And when you put it all together, Maria isn't just James's test or punishment. She's a person trapped in a cycle of false hope and inevitable loss. So who is Maria really? She's not just a stand-in for Mary. She's not just James's temptation. She's a person, a tragic character who constantly reaches for love, identity, and a purpose, only to have it stripped away from her. Her story is a reminder that creations born from pain can still feel pain themselves, and maybe that's what makes Maria more terrifying and more tragic than anything the main game has to offer. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Maria is honestly one of the most heavy-hitting characters for me in Silent Hill, so I hope you guys enjoyed that video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.